For more full-length yoga classes, join me on bananablondieyoga.com.
Hey yogis, today we're going to be talking about Shirshasana headstand. While headstand is definitely a wonderful pose with a myriad of benefits, it is definitely one of those asanas where proper alignment is a must. When balancing in headstand, we're obviously going to be putting some pressure into our necks and spine. So during this tutorial today, I'm going to show you some baby steps that we can take to make sure that we can get up into our headstands safe. Essentially, when we're upside down in headstand, our alignment is going to be the same as it would be in Tadasana or mountain pose. Before we even go upside down, I want to demonstrate the importance of rooting down into the earth. Now, whether or not we're right side up or upside down, when we press down into the earth, it's going to bring our spine into alignment. So a lot of times when I'm not really thinking about alignment or good posture, I'm not really putting pressure into my feet, I'm kind of hanging out here, and my back, as you can see, is sort of in this swayed banana shape. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, a lot of people tend to be here, thrusting their pelvis forward. So what we want to be doing when we're rooting down into the earth, and in this instance, when I'm right side up, I'm rooting down into my feet. So if you think of pressing down into your feet, what's going to happen is that it's automatically going to bring me alignment. I'm going to root down into my feet, and it's going to neutralize my pelvis. So it doesn't matter if I tend to be here or here, it's going to neutralize my pelvis, and I'm going to be lifting up my heart and extending out through the crown of my head. So making a little mental note of the importance of rooting down in order to properly rise up with the correct alignment, we're going to take it to the floor. The first type of headstand I'm going to show you is Shirshasana with the forearms down. While I do believe it's a little easier to balance in tripod headstand, I believe that forearm headstand is a bit safer because there is less pressure in your head. So what you're going to do is you're going to come to the ground and you're going to wrap your fingertips around the outer parts of your arms. And this should give you about the proper alignment of keeping the shoulders in line right over the elbows. As you can see, when I'm facing forward, this is what it's going to look like. So once you've found your alignment, you're going to interlace the hands together and you're going to open the palms up. So before we even bring our heads to the earth, I want to talk about shoulder engagement. So if we're not engaging the shoulders, we're just kind of letting them hang out, we're letting some tension come here, we're feeling a little compression in the neck, and this is not what we want, especially when we're going to be putting the entire weight of our body on our head and shoulders. You want to push down into the forearms to sort of create more space here, to make a longer neck, to release any tension out of the tops of the shoulders, to sort of move the shoulder blades down the back. And once we have the shoulder engagement, we're going to open up the palms and bring the very top, the crown of our head to the earth. I'm going to take the outer edges of my palms and I'm going to kind of hug my head with the palms. So crown of the head is down and I'm going to hug the palms. Where's my shoulders? They're definitely not here. They're engaged and they're pressing away. I'm creating more and more space. As you can see, just the action of me pressing down into the earth, engaging my shoulders, naturally my belly wanted to pull in and become aligned as well. So rooting down, you can begin to lift the knees up off the earth. And you want to bring the feet in so that the hips are aligned over the shoulders. Continue pressing down into your forearms and rooting down into the top of your head. Really feel the shoulders moving away from the ears and the neck lengthening. Now, if you've never worked with headstand before and it's completely new to you, I want you to stay in this step for a while, just to begin to feel what it's like to put some weight into your head, to put some weight into your forearms, and I want you to feel comfortable and safe there before you begin to put the weight of your legs into your neck as well. It is so very important to move safely in a step-by-step fashion when you're on your headstand journey. I can't stress this enough. You're not going to be able to safely move on to the next step if you haven't gotten completely comfortable and confident in the step that you're currently in. There is no gold medals being given out for the person that gets to Shirshasana first. This version of headstand is something that you can practice safely every single day without the risk of hurting yourself. Let's just go over it again one more time. So I'm gonna measure my arms onto the ground, interlace my hands, open up the palms, place the top of my head, the very crown of my head onto the ground. Hug the outside of my head with the base of my palms. Engage the shoulders, root down into the mat, and then lift the knees up. Maybe walk the feet in so that the hips align right over the shoulders. Notice the engagement of the shoulders. I'm not letting anything sink down. I'm pressing everything down into the mat and becoming very light. Once you become comfortable with this, you can begin to bring one knee in. And we can just begin to play here. No need to go any further. Playing with the legs, shifting that weight. Now, if inverting in this way is completely new to you, it may feel like quite a workout for your shoulders to keep them engaged in that way. Allow your body the time to adjust. Let's walk through it again, this time adding on the next step. Measure, interlace the hands, open the palms, crown of the head comes down. Root down into the forearms, into the crown of the head, engage the shoulders and lift the knees. Walk the feet in, align the hips, squeeze one leg, and then the other. And when you're totally comfortable, maybe you begin to bring both legs in, hugging the knees into the chest, keeping that engagement of the shoulders, holding here, and then gently lowering down. Now, I definitely don't recommend kicking up into headstand under any circumstances. I don't want you to do it up against a wall, and I don't want you to do it in the middle of the room. If you're using your momentum to fling your weight up into headstand, you're completely missing the whole point of going through the process of learning to headstand and allowing your body to learn what it needs to do step by step in order to safely get into that posture. So, do not kick up into headstand. I want you to do this process. Let's go through it again and add on. Once you get comfortable with this pose, and you may be here for weeks, months, whatever, no worries. You're going to play around with straightening one leg at a time. I find this step of straightening one leg at a time to be very useful because while we straighten one, we still have the other leg tucked into our chest, and it's going to help us counterbalance the posture. So it's going to keep us from toppling over the other way. We also want to move very slowly and mindfully. Because again, if we use that momentum or we just suddenly straighten our leg, it can cause our body to sort of be thrown out of balance so we can end up falling over. And that's okay. Chances are if you fall over from this position in headstand, you're going to be all right. The floor's right there. It's not too far. But again, the point is that we want to be able to move mindfully and slowly so we can really feel where that center of gravity is. Now it's time to extend all the way up into headstand. Measuring the elbows, interlacing the hands, opening the palms, placing the crown of the head down, finding that engagement of the shoulders and the belly, really pressing down into the forearms and the head. Lift the knees, walk the hips in, feel your engagement of your shoulders, squeeze the knees in, and when you're ready, slowly, slowly extending all the way up into headstand. When I get up into headstand, I'm going to slightly squeeze the muscles at the base of my seat. Thighs are pulling together, quadriceps are active, I'm engaged. Now to come down, you're going to exit the same way you came in, drawing the knees into your chest and lowering the feet one at a time and slowly coming down. When we come down out of headstand, it's really nice to take a little rest in balasana with the arms alongside your body, maybe rolling the head from side to side, releasing any tension that's built up in the muscles of your neck. Now, once you're comfortable in full Shirshasana, you can always begin to play with piking up into headstand or lifting the legs as they're straight. So it's slightly different here as far as the alignment goes with the hips. When we come up into our knees being lifted, we want to walk the feet in really close so that the hips actually shift behind my shoulders a bit. This way I can counterbalance and it's easier for me to lift my feet up off the ground. Same thing when I come down, I'm going to shift the hips back and lower this way. Now the alignment for tripod headstand is essentially the same. It's just that our base is a little bit different. It's a little bit easier, I think, to balance in tripod headstand because you do have a larger base, so you may feel more steady, but we still want to have the same alignment principles as far as we're basically doing Tadasana upside down. So the placement of our base, our hands right here, and then we're going to bring our head to the earth in a triangle. So we're going to make a triangle with our head and our hands. So I want the upper part of my arm to be perpendicular with my forearm. So I'm creating a nice square shape there. I'm not going to be back here, and I'm not going to be too far forward. And I'm not going to have the arms too wide. They're going to be in line with my shoulders. So finding that alignment, pushing the crown of your head down into the ground, then you can lift up. And you can follow the same principles that you did in our forearm headstand. So pausing in this step in your headstand journey. Now the major difference between these two variations is that in tripod headstand there is quite a bit more weight that goes directly into your head. For me, I actually feel safer in the tripod headstand. I feel like the more weight that goes into my head, the easier it is for me to extend through my head, the easier it is for me to extend through my neck and really lengthen through here and create more space. Whereas when I'm like this, I kind of feel like it's harder. There's a little bit more muscle crunching. It's harder to find that extension here. Everybody's body is slightly anatomically different, so different people may find different variations easier or more difficult, but I think it's important to explore both variations and see what works best for your body. But again, the most important part of alignment is that we want to be creating space in the neck. So we want to be creating more and more space between each and every vertebrae in your neck. So lengthening. We don't want to be crunching like this. We want to press the shoulders away from the ears and create that safety net, that space right here. So you can go through the same process of learning tripod headstand that we did with the forearm stand. So I'm going to walk you through each step now. So finding that alignment, hands come down, you're creating a tripod essentially with your hands and your head. So once you feel comfortable here, my shoulders are engaged, they're pressing away from my ears, you can begin to play with the feet, lifting one at a time, and then both. And then you get to play with the straightening of the legs one at a time. And then you can do both when you're nice and ready. So same alignment here, you're squeezing the base of your butt, lengthening through the feet, rooting down into the crown of your head and the palms. And again, exiting the same way you came in, nice and safe. And when you're ready to play with piking up into your tripod headstand, same principle applies. So finding your base, engaging the shoulders, lifting the knees and walking the feet in close so that my hips shift back over my shoulders, and then you can see I can easily lift my legs. And shifting down the same way. One more tool that can be useful in your headstand practice is a camera or your iPhone. Take a picture of yourself, take a video of yourself working with it. When we're learning something completely new in our bodies, it's hard to imagine or really feel where our bodies are in space. So sometimes an actual visual or an image of what you look like can really help. This is a tool that I found really useful in my own practice, and I'm not saying that the outward appearance of the posture is what matters, but when we're learning something that's so totally new, like going upside down for an instance, it can really be a useful tool. So I don't see anything wrong with using a camera or taking a video of yourself. I think in today's day and age of Instagram yoga, where you see people doing things, you see pictures of poses, and you're like, wow, that's so inspiring, I want to try that. And you go and you try it on your own, and oftentimes we're not doing it in a yoga class, or we're not doing it with the guidance of a teacher, or we're not doing it with a whole lot of knowledge about alignment. I do see quite a bit of yoga on social media that does concern me, especially when it comes to alignment. I see things that are alarming. So I think it's just so important to move slowly and go step by step in your practice. And even when you're in a yoga class, you have a teacher that's there who may have 30, 40 people in the class, and you may kick up into headstand and she's not gonna see every single little thing. So it's really up to you to be your own guide. I think Instagram is an amazing tool. I personally have found so much inspiration there. My personal yoga practice has evolved and changed so much in a very positive way due to the inspiration that I get daily on Instagram. So I think it is a really great thing. I just want to see everyone being mindful and being careful and really becoming aware and connecting with the process to the poses, because it's the process that is the yoga, right? Doing a perfect headstand, doing a perfect handstand, that's not what it's about. It's about the process of getting there. It's about going through these little baby steps. It's about what you learn about your body, what you learn about your being as you move towards these poses. So that said, I hope this video was really helpful to you guys. And if you have any other questions, please leave them on the forum and I will answer them ASAP.
For more full-length yoga classes, join me on bananablondieyoga.com.